right, so this is Kill the Crows, and if this seems a bit familiar to you, me introing a Kill the Crows video, that's because it is. I actually did stream this game back in April of 2024, where I dug through the entirety of the story, getting all the rest of the guns that were available and doing Isabella's revolver plot, which allows you to kill 100 enemies and then see what is canonically the end of the storyline in this game. But this is a game that 5 Minute Labs has been continuing to work on over the past year. And it's been something that they've been pretty regularly supporting with bug fixes, with general kind of, edits and updates. And the biggest update that they've done recently is the Curse of the Crimson Moon update, which has enabled a new mode to be added here. So if you are familiar with Kill the Crows to some degree, you may recognize some of these options: the gun that you can use, the showdown you can use, the passive items that you can outfit, and the difficulty. But there's this new button here, the curses that you can outfit. And through these curses, you have access to, this is going to make me look extremely embarrassing here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different curses to be able to access. Each of these curses is unlocked by killing 100 enemies with a certain amount of curses attached. So it's not as difficult to lift as unlocking everything else in the main game. But these curses are essentially modifiers, debuffs for you to be able to force you to kind of have to think a little bit more critically. So you do start out with 2, and then once you kind of make your way through, every single curse is unlocked by an additional 100, by an additional curse being outfitted. So as you can see here, I've unlocked 6 of these. I've unlocked 5 of these curses now. So now I have to get 100 kills with 6 curses attached in order to unlock the next one. I do not know what these bottom 4 are, but I do know that once you have unlocked all of them, there is an achievement for going ahead and using all of them at once. So I'm going to be a little strategic with how I use them up until this point, and then we can kind of see, once I've unlocked all of them, how it looks when everything gets super chaotic. So to start, enemies' corpses explode upon death. That is probably a big change for people who've played this previously. It is something that means that you can't stand in the vicinity of really any enemy who's dead. You have to always be moving, even more than usual. Lightning strikes randomly attack across the map. That is very similarly to the second boss in the game, who creates an electric field that will then attack. It is very much a large lightning bolt that will hit the map. The good thing about these two is that they cause friendly fire, which if an enemy explodes near an enemy, then it will kill them, which means that if enemies decide they want to group up on you, that's a good way of being able to clear that 100 pretty quick. Similarly with the lightning strikes. So those are ones that I like to have on. Next, after that, the Curse of the Crimson Moon, the titular curse. Enemies spawn faster and now inflict friendly fire. This means that you're going to be facing more enemies at once, but it also means that if enemies are not being super careful, they can go ahead and shoot each other. A thick fog covers the map. That makes the field of vision a lot harder to deal with. Enemies spawn at random locations, which is means that you're not going to be able to mow down as many of them as quickly as you think you can. Details for magazine rounds and showdowns are not visible, which means not just those, but also every element of your HUD is gone. So you won't be able to even see how many enemies you've gunned down up until that point as well. Enemies with faster movement speed spawn occasionally. These are enemies that will spawn with a red dot in their eyes, and they will be able to pretty much flank you almost instantly. It makes things a lot more difficult if you're used to being able to keep your distance from a good amount of enemies. Ranged enemies fire different projectiles, and also this is another thing here too, where enemies, once they're killed, they also shoot off a little bit of a fire, a little bit of fire as well, an X pattern. This is kind of your bullet hell. You know, if you're used to bullet hell experiences, but also bullet hell experiences where you can only take one hit, you can pop that on. This is the one that I have not tried out yet because I unlocked it in the last time that I played this game, which was a few days ago. And this means that anytime you dodge, you're going to have to move out of the way of that dodge because there's a trap set. So that's 6. Once again, I need to get 100 kills with 6 curses in order to be able to do this. The new curse that you add to your cadre can be added to what you need to do here. So I think that it's helpful that these 3 in particular I'm not too huge on. But at the very least, this newest one that I have can be outfitted, and I can hopefully get a good experience in terms of following it. So, for those who may not be super familiar with this, this is a twin-stick shooter. Oh, they spawn out of the graves and stuff. That's the hook to it. Oh, almost forgot how to reload for a second. But as you can see, things get a little bit more hectic with the larger amount of spawns on the map. So like I was saying, this is a twin-stick shooter. You have different selections of weapons and things that you can really make use of, but I am keeping it very standard on the things that I generally prefer to use. Oh, there's a bomb there. Mainly because I want to make sure that I can get through this experience relatively unscathed. As you can see, I've already died twice, so unscathed is not going to happen. Oh, I forgot the trap that spawns there as well. Is that what that bomb is? I guess I was kind of expecting there to be like a bear trap there, but I mean, it doesn't have to. Oops. That was not the smart usage of the showdown. So with the bombs and the lightning, you want to try and conserve your bullets a little bit more. Because you're able to just let these explosions kind of take out your enemies without as much concern. Oh, see, so it spawns... It doesn't spawn where you dodge into, it spawns where you've dodged out of. So it's left there for a while, but it isn't... Oh, see, that's what you want, the chain reactions there. Because again, after an enemy dies, after an enemy gets killed, they then blow up as well. But yeah, you can see my experience here with everything. I didn't really highlight that as much. I don't really have any tasks that I need to unlock anything else. It would be nice to show off the curses, like the progress to getting the curses. But 34 people that I've killed in that past run. Like I said, this is probably going to go pretty quick if I'm able to finagle it properly. Because the big thing here is that you are given a lot of friendly fire tools. Enemies shooting at each other, enemies being able to blow each other up. Oh. And it really cuts down on the amount of time that you might need to spend on fighting enemies. Especially with the lightning strikes. Like, I think that the lightning strikes in particular can be ridiculously brutal. You know, especially with how much range they take up. Ah, not enough rolls. 56, though. All about getting back to being used to it, though, is the big thing here. Wow. All right. I'll take it. I don't know how I survived that, though. This is the stuff you want, though. This is the goods right here. Especially if you have a good showdown that can line a bunch of enemies up really quickly, or take a bunch of enemies out that are within range of each other. Oh! I think, though, that that's the trickiest part of this, is the need to have to kind of finagle the larger explosions. This isn't hard, per se. Not as tricky to figure out as maybe some of these things can be. Certainly not the fog. Oh my god. The fog is nuts. I don't think I'll ever be able to figure that out. Oh, I let them get a little too grouped up there. Let me see about outfitting something else other than the random spawns. I'll do it. I'll do the fog. Which, as you can see, makes things considerably more difficult, but again, the biggest thing here is that enemies usually spawn from the outside, and them doing that here means that it's a little bit easier for me to decipher where they come from. Hopefully the next showdown is, or hopefully the next curse is a little easier to, They are shooting. Your showdown vision does give you at least a little bit of an advantage there. All right. I've officially killed 100 enemies. Now I just need to kill this character. Or I killed 99 enemies. Now I just need to kill this character, which is the boss. And then I will have access to the next showdown. Or the next curse, sorry. Things do ramp up considerably, though, thanks to the difficulty level I've chosen. There's a lot of customization to a run in this. Zones that slow down movement speed appear across the map. Let's see now. It'll probably be a little hard to see that. I feel like the speed is not going to be as hard to deal with if they're... Okay, these. Do these affect and... Oh! Appears that they don't. Ah, the axe man. 37. Getting into the 30s is a pretty consistent thing for me, at least in this mode. When you consider how blowing people up is a lot easier to manage in this format as well, it definitely helps. I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like only the small fry, the standard enemies, the ones with the axes and the ones with the guns get sped up. I'm hoping it's just genuinely. But as you can see, they kind of speed into position. And then they are, you know, able to kind of take their shot when they want to. It's pretty useful when it's just the gun guys, honestly, because you still have a little bit of time to react to them. These axe guys, on the other hand, no. If they are able to get within range of you, then it's over, practically. Thankfully, the red is very easy to see if you're paying attention for it. It's just, a matter of getting acclimated to it. So, I mean, I guess a little bit of background, because it's been a while since I've talked about this game. I did pick it up in a sale, and it was interesting because it was something that I picked up because of Alpha Beta Gamer. But it was so early on in its development cycle that it didn't have Steam Deck support, really solid controller support at all. It was kind of like super early stages when I actually picked it up. And as it turned out, I was able to finagle a couple of different ways to be able to play it, but only on handheld. So it took a few months for them to kind of get everything else set up. But once they did, I was like, this feels like something that once I am comfortable enough with the rhythm, I could definitely stream it. I could definitely hop in and see what all it's got. And I mean, you know, it turned out to be really fun. Like, my first stream that I did of it, the one that I did before this, like, I unlocked all the rest of the stuff in one go. I think it took me maybe like 2 hours after having already played it. Oh, no, these guys can, in fact, be sped up. I was just saying it's probably just the ones that are difficult, the ones that are easier to fight, and it turns out it can be the difficult ones too. You only get one roll. The roll can be sped up with some items, but you don't want to botch a roll if you can help it. Oh, what hit me? Maybe an explosion? The good news is your walking speed is decent enough that if you are careful enough, you can kind of walk in between these explosions and in between kind of, you know, certain enemy shots. Maybe not the larger ones, but like these smaller ones can be managed a little bit here if you're, you know, good enough range away from them. I will say it is kind of funny when you see the guys with guns kind of run up to take aim and shoot at you for some reason. I'm not even really dealing with the slow down zones. That's the crazy part of this. Oh, yeah, I'm turning off the speedy thing for right now. Let's see if I can find another one that will work. I mean, I guess I'll keep doing the what do you call it? The fog. That's not as hard to deal with as like it feels like it could be. Oh. interestingly enough, you can dodge your way out of the zones if you're careful enough. Oh. How many was that? 51. That's better than my average. I'm also not using my showdown enough. Which after how much time I spent getting, I probably should, right? Especially when it gives me a speed boost as well. And shoot balls. Yeah, I got stuck in between two explosions there. But yeah, so this was kind of a surprising little hiccup, genuinely. Like, it wasn't really kind of something that was on my radar until I saw it on Alpha Beta Gamer, and then when I did pick it up, like I played it quite a bit. Like, I pretty much played it until I'd been able to unlock all of the default achievements, and play through the game pretty steadily, honestly, which is really nice. It's nice to get a smaller game like this that feels like it's supported really well. Because I can speak from recent experience especially. There are games where, you buy them and it feels like the thought was just, we have to get this game out. And that's it, really. Oh. Not going to say any names because I'm not mean like that, but it happens, So it's good to be able to play a game where you can tell that the thought was, this is a working project. We obviously have something really, really good here. But we have more that we can do before it's done. Oh, wow. All right. That lightning got super close to me. Hold up. I was about to say, I felt like I'm really close. It felt like things were starting to slow down a bit for me. Now, the good thing about this boss, and the reason why I like fighting him first, is that it's easy to be able to get initial shot in on him right when he spawns right out of the cutscene. So if you run into a situation where you're kind of thinking to yourself, like, I want to speed through this a bit. Let's actually make this happen, Curse of the Wasteland. The incorporeal form of the Curse of the Wasteland chases after you. Well, I don't know what that is, but I guess we're about to find out. Let's do this one again. I like to at least be able to see what the things are before I, kind of put on my optimal stuff. But let's see. Oh, that's it. Curious if that's like an explosion or something in particular. Wow, all right, that was a good one. Didn't get the right roll. 72. Okay, so it's just kind of there. It doesn't look like it's planning on doing anything to me. Oh, okay. So if you stand in it too long, then it just automatically eats. But you do have a little bit of leeway at the very least. Like, it's not just it kills you the instant you get into the field, which is nice. staying on the fringes is not the best idea always, but sometimes you, I wasn't looking. Sometimes it's a good way to be able to, horrible roll. It's a good way to be able to kind of keep an eye out for everything that's going on around you. Wow, alright, hello there. Especially in this version where the enemies can spawn wherever, it makes it a lot harder to trust that you're going to be able to, you know, find an area to hide in for a good amount of time. And especially with this thing following me now. And with the explosions. I used to be so good at the timing on those. If you dodge at the right time, you've probably seen me do it a few times at this point now. But you can, you know, get a perfect dodge. Which prevents you from taking any kind of proper damage while you're moving around. Something that can be very, very clutch in the last few seconds of your life. Or the proposed last few seconds of your life. I think that was a little too fast, honestly, for me to think about. Too many enemies. There we go. That was the perfect dodge. Yeah, I think it's like right before the yellow concludes, basically, like that. Oh, whoops. I have not properly reloaded, and I do not have the showdown like I thought I did. The good news about showdowns as well is they can kind of ignore any enemy type. So in addition to the explosions and other things you might be getting used to in terms of what you can actually do and use yourself against. You also can kind of shrug. Oh, was that it? You can also kind of shrug off more dangerous enemy attacks. There we go. I like that it is just 100, actually, as well. Like, they very easily could have made it like, okay, now do it with, like, this amount, specifically. I mean, obviously, jinx if it changes, but I think it's a reasonable amount of kills that you need to do. Different types of enemies spawn randomly. You know, that's not as bad, I think. Unless something really bad happens because of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, just wanted to be sure. So, I mean, okay. So these are kind of later stage enemies. The ones that you would face in maybe the phases after what we've been seeing up until this point. Ghosts as well, which means that there's a little bit to deal with there. But these are those ghost enemies like spawn when you have like 600 enemies left. Oh wow, that's not a ton of time to be able to get out of that. It felt like more, I think, but it felt like more because maybe I was not paying as much attention. These enemies can be tough. The ones that spawn the triangles, you have to kill them. Otherwise, the enemies that you kill will just, you know, turn into ghosts. Revenants, I should say, not ghosts. The ghosts are the purple guys there. Not great. Good news is we're right at the end in terms of what the curses are. Once we unlock the next curse, I think I'm just going to do a quick tester and see how long I can survive a couple of rounds. Not too long, obviously, but a couple of rounds of every curse outfitted, just to see if I can survive that. This, however, I can't. I sounded like, I said I was like, it's not that bad, and then, wouldn't you know it, it is in fact that bad. It is in fact a little bit more difficult to manage than I figured it would be. I don't know why I used it there. Again, like you can see, the lightning is very useful if you know how to manage it. Because that field of vision is so large. I mean, that field of damage is so large. And especially if you have, like, the explosions on after. That's a really decently good recipe. 90. For being able to polish off pretty much everybody that you need to. Add that to a good showdown selection. And also, my underbarrel shotgun that I have here attached. I haven't really been talking about the guns or anything, because I already went into that, but... But it means that we're at least able to kind of trim some of the path and really get into this, the difficulty of this. The biggest thing that I think that I have to worry about here, I think honestly the random one is probably the hardest one to deal with. There are other things that make this tricky and damaging, but like, the random option means that you're not necessarily able to kind of keep them at bay the way that you would be able to in the main game. You might notice, like, my tricks are kind of just like, oh, move in and out, you know, kind of move around a little bit more. And also with your vision being obscured a little bit, it can make it a little trickier for you to be able to see where they're coming from with this. That's not the primary concern that I have. I was about to say, probably in the 60s. I didn't feel like I was coming to the end there. You can see, like, even with these damaging fields being here, like, as long as I'm moving, like, relatively nicely, you can kind of move yourself in a position where that stuff isn't as much of a concern for you. You don't want to be moving, like, gingerly, like I just was, but, you can kind of keep your fingers on the sticks. And just kind of strafe a little bit. Not run into as much concern. I was paying attention to the lightning. Damn it. The other thing about them spawning randomly is that they won't move up naturally as much as they... Whoa, okay. I didn't see that I was still in there. They won't group up as naturally as they do in the normal game, which means that your use of Showdown is going to be a little bit different. I would outfit a new Showdown if I felt like it would be useful, but again, that means if I outfitted the one that I'm thinking about, I would have to dodge explosions all around me as opposed to dodge explosions in front of me. probably don't want to do that. I'll give this one more go, and then I might try to mix and match a little bit more. It honestly is about finding a good combination to be able to get over this hump, because I know that after this, I'm going to be trying to beat them all, and, I don't know. I don't love my chances in that, if I'm being honest with you. I ran out of dodges. I'm pretty consistently finishing high, though, is the thing. Like, I'm not feeling like I'm gridlocked. I'm just feeling like, there's some, like, things I need to get over in order to make this work for me. That was probably not the best of shots. The other thing about your showdown info being missing means that you kind of need to keep your eyes open a bit more and your ears open a bit more. There is a good tell with audio to be able to know when you have a showdown, but then also, like, being able to kind of know when to use it once you figure it out. Like, it's not just, like, whenever I got Showdown and I saw the visual cue, it was like, oh, great, I can just pop this off and go. But I'll just forget without the thing in there. It's not as much of a difficulty-inducing thing as it is a, you kind of need to remind yourself that it's there. It feels like I'm running lower on enemies a bit. I am indeed. I'm positioned really weirdly to be able to get the first shot that I usually like to. And this is someone who I really don't want to have to deal with in this way. Because as I'm sure you've guessed, not being able to see means that it's a little harder. Reloading is only available near the totems placed across the map. I actually do want to give that a quick shot here, just to see if I can make that work independently here. I'll keep these. You know what? They're good. I'm interested in that. Alright, when they say totems, did I not put on the right thing? Hold on. Totems. Oh. Well, that's a totem. See what I mean? Like, immediately my brain is thinking, I just need to use it now. Even if it's not the most strategic. Okay, so they are positioned in some... Oh, wow. Okay, so that one blew up. Okay, so they move. That's kind of interesting, actually. They move and they disappear, which is the other big thing. But they also move in areas that feel reasonable to go to. Alright. Well, the moment of truth has finally arrived. I'm going to see how long I can survive with every curse imaginable. And in case you couldn't tell, that was the pop for my achievement there. Oh, wow, okay. I almost forgot about the little extra thing here. Now, as you can see, there's the little fire bullets that are now flying around. That is what I feared most, actually. Because once you see those flying around, they fly horizontally. And the other big thing that you have to worry about with it is the fact that even though they do damage other enemies, you do still have to worry about them killing other enemies under friendly fire conditions and forcing you to have to dodge additional stuff that's on the field. Oh, wow. So a lot of additional things to have to move out of the way of. Plus the fact that I can only reload in areas. A lot going on. Very little to smile about in my life, says Isabella. But no, this is actually pretty cool. I actually really like this as an idea. A lot of games do this, where they're like, oh, hey, you know, we are going to put in a mode that makes things harder, and you get to choose the ways that it makes things harder. I feel like God of War Ragnarok did it, you know. A lot of games that are like that end up doing stuff like that to be able to kind of give people a post-game challenge of some kind. I could not reload for the entirety of that experience, so if you're wondering what I was doing, that was what I was doing. I would like to go far with this. Go further, I should say. Oh, the slowdown fields being inside of the reload fields is a little interesting. I'm also, as I mentioned when I played this previously, a reload fiend. So whenever I get the opportunity to reload, like, if I get, like, a free second, like, I just reload. I just do it. Like, it's not even like a, oh, I wait until I run out of bullets or something like that. It's a, just, as soon as I finish shooting enough of the enemies that are near me, I do that. So, like, there's a part of me that's, like, you know, brute instinct that's saying I need to dodge. I need to dodge, and then I need to reload. And dodging is not going to help me, and reloading is not going to help me either. Oh. Yeah, this new enemy pop as well, that makes it even more difficult. Especially with... Okay, so I think all of their bullets are modified, not just the bullets that happen when you die. I think I said that, actually. Yeah, which makes things a little bit more challenging, even if you can take them down. You still have to worry about what you can't dodge, what you can't avoid. I feel like these ones that are like in fours are what happens when an enemy explodes more than actually this is what happens when an enemy, you know, dies, period. There's a little bit of a benefit to this that I can kind of rely pretty reasonably on the stage effects taking out enemies. Oh, come on, that's 76. We got this. And also these larger bullets, these different bullet patterns are a little easier to dodge. Which is like the one, I think the one saving grace here. Oh, again, my habit of revolving, dodging, of moving around pretty steadily. I have to be a little bit careful where I walk. Oh! That was cool as hell. Kind of running out of options here. Oh no! See, look at all those guys explode. I wonder if, like, leading him around is a good idea. Because you saw how many of them blew up after I was searching for an opportunity to reload. The lightning, again, I mean, that is, like, life-saving, genuinely. But I have to be able to use it. I can't just run around waiting for it to happen. Oh. Got caught by the stray bullet on the back end. The good thing about this, I will say, I don't know if anyone saw it in the achievement, but fight with all curses is the, you know, option here. It is not win with all curses, which I think is kind of the saving grace for anybody who wants to get to this point, just to be able to experience it. All you really need to do is play a game with every single curse outfitted, and you'll be able to unlock this. So, yeah. Good amount of options there for you in terms of being able to modify your game. I would say, honestly, it does not feel like you are supposed to be able to do it in this way. But it is something that I think is reasonable for someone to be able to give it a shot, see what you think. If you enjoy playing through Kill the Crows and you think that you can do a full run of all curses, be my guest by all means. I think that that would be really interesting to see. Someone give that a shot and see what they can do.